Hey, what's going on everyone? Greg here, and I've been using the Apple Watch Series 4 for the past 24 hours, and I've come to the conclusion that the Apple Watch Series 4 is a huge improvement.
Greg's Gadgets.
So I think the thing you'll notice most about the new Apple Watch Series 4 is the new design. It has such a good design. It's slimmer overall, so it fits easier on your wrist. And you might be thinking 0.7 millimeters isn't going to make that much of a difference in terms of thinness from the Series 3, but it actually does. It fits under shirt cuff collars a lot easier. It fits easier on the wrist. It just looks nicer overall. The Apple Watch Series 4 also has a nice new rounded design. It's not a circular watch per se, but it is a rounded square. A much more rounded display than the Apple Watch Series 3, which had a pretty square display and was pretty much hidden up with the fact that it had an OLED screen with giant black bezels. Now you might think, why would I need a bigger screen on a watch? But it makes reading text a lot easier, tapping things on the screen while you're scrolling through your apps. Just using it in general makes it a whole lot easier having a bigger screen, and to be honest, it just looks nicer having that extra screen real estate for some of your watch faces. And they have a bunch of cool new watch faces on the Apple Watch Series 4. My favorite so far is this infographic analog watch face. It's really cool. It has tons of complications. It's a traditional analog watch face. The screen is so rounded that the circle almost goes all the way around the screen, and on the side of the Apple Watch, because you have those rounded corners, you can put tons of information in that display. They also have a new infograph modular display that also looks really nice if you want a more digital style clock watch face, and that just has tons of information you can display out. I really like the complication in the middle that just gives you a huge bar graph of whatever you want with tons of information on screen ready to go. The Series 4 also gets these full screen watch displays that have fire, water, and vapor. They look really cool, but I much prefer the infographic analog and infographic digital watch faces compared to those. And after using the Series 4 for the past 24 hours, there's something I'm seeing in some of the reviews that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, and that is just how big of an improvement the speed is on the Series 4 Apple Watch. Now, from Series 0 to Series 1, there was a huge speed improvement. The original Apple Watch was really slow. And the same can be said from Series 1 and Series 2 to Series 3. There were nice speed improvements along the way. But the thing about the Series 4 is that it's just really fast. And again, you might be thinking, why do I need a super fast chip in the Apple Watch? And that's just because you can do things a lot faster. One of the best parts about owning a smartwatch is being able to look at things really quickly and take action on them. So anytime you hit a loading screen, it's a snag in the process. I can't just overstate enough how big of an improvement this is. I even think if you have a Series 3 watch, upgrading to a Series 4 is going to be a huge improvement in terms of design and in terms of speed. So one of the things Apple mentioned in the keynote on the Series 4 Apple Watch is that the speaker got a lot louder. And that is true. The speaker is really loud. So I've made a couple of phone calls and I could hear everyone really clearly, even in some noisy environments. And also because the speaker is moved away from the microphone, I think it also picked up reception better because people said I sounded really good on the Series 4 Apple Watch. The Series 4 also makes improvements to Siri because of that louder speaker. When you ask her a command, the Series 4 can speak back to you like the Series 3 could. And because you have a 50% louder speaker, you can hear Siri much more clearly. And speaking of Siri, some of the improvements to watchOS 5, and this is on older Apple Watches as well, but I find it works really well on the Series 4, is the new Raise to Talk to Siri feature. So if you have an Apple Watch Series 4, you can just raise the Apple Watch right to your mouth and just start talking, and Siri will actually pick you up. So let's do that right now. What's the weather?
Here's the forecast for today.
That's awesome. You don't have to use Hey S word anymore. You could just go talk straight into your watch. It picks you up really well, and it gives you a fast response, especially on the Series 4. So another great improvement to the Series 4 Apple Watch is that digital crown. Apple said they completely re-engineered this, and it definitely feels a lot smoother than the Series 3, Series 1, Series 0 Apple Watches. And another thing about the digital crown is every time that you rotate it, you get a small, subtle click. It almost feels like you're rotating a mechanical watch, or if you ever wound up a watch before, it almost feels like those clicks. It's very satisfying as you're scrolling through your list. I really like this subtle clicking touch. It's a really nice touch to the watch. It makes it feel really premium. Now you might be asking, what are some of the negatives of this new watch? Because you're just mentioning positives, and of course this isn't a full review yet. I'm still going to be doing that video later, but some of you guys might be asking, well, maybe why shouldn't I pick up the Series 4? There's a couple reasons that stand out. Some of them are really small, like this one, for instance. The rounded screen sometimes does cut off text at the bottom, but I think it's a pretty good sacrifice considering you're getting a larger screen overall. Speaking of that bigger new display, I also think a lot of the apps aren't taking full advantage of it yet. A lot of the developers need to update their apps to take advantage of the Series 4 Apple Watch. But hopefully with the Apple Watch Series 4, a lot of developers are going to see the potential of having those diverse, rich complications, so hopefully that is rectified soon. And another big negative for me about the Apple Watch Series 4 is that the EKG feature that Apple demoed on stage, where it can do an electrocardiogram of your heart, isn't available yet on the Apple Watch Series 4. It's going to be added later with an update. So if that was a feature you're interested in, you might want to wait until Apple actually delivers on that feature, because Apple this year has had a pretty bad track record of delivering promises and not shipping them, like AirPower and HomePod stereo pairing, which is available now, and they did do it, but it did come out a lot later. So if that's a feature you wanted to get day one, maybe wait a little bit until that feature's actually out. And these are just my first impressions of the Apple Watch. It is really good. Don't let those negatives at the end understate just how big of an improvement this Series 4 Apple Watch is. Even if you're coming from a Series 3, I think it's safe to say that this is a huge upgrade to the Apple Watch. This is a great upgrade for any previous Apple Watch owner. If you've never even owned an Apple Watch before, there's never been a better time to buy one. But I still have lots to test about the Series 4 Apple Watch, so there still is a full review coming, but I just wanted to give people who are watching now, because this did just launch, I just wanted to give them a quick glimpse of how well this thing's been performing, and if you should buy one now, and I think, yeah, it's pretty good so far. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As always, if you liked the video, make sure you give it a like. If you want to see more from my channel, make sure you subscribe, including a review of the Apple Watch Series 4, and more content on the iPhone XS Max. If you have any questions regarding the Apple Watch Series 4, leave them in the comments below, or let me know what you think of the Apple Watch Series 4, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone.